You were you mentioned that chess.com report. You were an independent expert advisor on that
Correct.
report, right? So I suppose you agreed with the conclusion that he likely cheated in over.
I certainly agree with
Yeah.
that conclusion, and I agree with seven specific items in that report. I may have to temper my agreement with one of them based on later information, but still in all, I certainly agree with some of the major ones, especially the cheating in 2015 and the 2017 online. And the cheating in 2017 is specifically something that Hans Niemann did not mention in his confession because he was age 14. And although it was just a qualifier, it should count as a prize tournament. As
Yeah.
a qualifier for a prize tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as I said, I have independence. I value it. I try to be trusted by all parties. I have certainly been communicating with the principals in the case or people with one-step ability to confer with them.
Hmm. Hmm. So
And
sorry, yeah, and
I was going to say, and Neiman right now is back in St. Louis competing in the U.S. championships.
yeah, yeah. There's obviously a lot of attention on him at the US Open Championship. But how do you obviously you have decades of experience in chess and trying to detect cheating. How do you reconcile how Hans has been able to perform at over the board chess without assistance? Obviously he has beaten Magnus Carlsen. Obviously he's lost some games as well. But how is he able to reach this level of ability if he hasn't been cheating on over the board
Right. So
chess
this
and he's
is
been relying so much on cheating in online chess?
right. So now this is something the report does dwell on that topic of Hans Niemann's rise, although it does say very clearly on its third page or second page that chess.com does not have any specific evidence of cheating in over the board chess,
Mm-hmm.
nor of online chess later than the latest date they allege. And so I had to put this Hans Niemann's rise in a couple of perspectives. Okay, number one, his rating stayed at 2465 for most of the count of 2020, the first year of the pandemic. But his chess strength certainly did not stay there. It's just because there wasn't any in-person chess, which is the officially rated chess. So to say that he went from 2478 in January 2021 to nearly 2700 in July 2022, and that year and a half rise was unprecedented is just wrong. It's really should be dated as a 2.225-year rise from April 2020 to July 2022. So it's a longer glide path.
Yeah.
Once you do that, you can find other chess players who had spurts over a similar 2+ year span of time. And most notably, my friend Frederick Friedel, the co-founder of ChessBase, and the person whose request got me launched on this entire chess cheating business, posted a very helpful article doing a comparison of other players' growth spurts. I can show you
All the attention on Niemann at the moment. Would you say? I mean, you mentioned Rausis earlier. Rausis was actually banned by the International Federation, right, for
right.
6 years. Niemann has not been, but would you say they are sort of like almost on par on terms of notoriety?
That's a very deep question for the chess community.
Mm.
So of course, Rausis was cheating in in-person chess, which is under the purview of FIDE. But online chess is under the purview of the platforms. They have the disposition rights over their own subscribers. And there were some meetings early in the pandemic to see if jurisdiction could be worked out, and it wasn't. So FIDE cannot sanction someone in a chess.com tournament, nor can chess.com sanction FIDE.
Yeah.
One example is that Russians are perfectly free to play in chess.com tournaments right now, no restriction.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the deeper question is the community attitude. Now, I come from a university and we had classes online, and the official position is that cheating in an online exam is just as grave as cheating in person. It's an academic integrity violation. But the key difference is that my university has equal purview over both. That's the analogy that doesn't carry over to the current state of the chess world.
Yeah.
However, nevertheless, you can still regard it as a matter of honor. Cheating at chess is cheating at chess, whether done online or not. So then the second challenge, however, though, is going to be for the chess community to arrive at a uniform opinion and uniform standards of behavior, because Niemann is not the only person in this category of having cheated online. Okay, there are other players who were sanctioned at high-level chess, and without naming names, I can tell you that Carlsen has played some of them. So, you know, how do we regard them? They have not risen to quite the elite level of invitation that Niemann has. Some of them have similar ratings. So there hasn't been the opportunity for Carlsen to make this kind of showy stand against the player. But nevertheless, as I said, it's something that's going to have to work out in chess as a community as we are now coming back from the pandemic.